Continuing coverage tonight on the driver who breached security, crashed his car into the terminal lobby at Wilmington International Airport. His car smashed through the glass doors, sending people inside running for their lives. Our crew at the scene caught video of authorities leading him out of the airport after it happened. The devil made him do it. That's what Trey Dvorak allegedly told deputies after his arrest. The crash injured a TSA worker who ended up going to the hospital. We're told that worker should be okay. Dvorak faces a judge for the first time today. WECT's Zach Solon was in that courtroom for that appearance and has more on the state and federal charges against the suspect.
Trey Dvorak is in jail under a $75,000 bond. Prosecutors say that's above the suggested range for his charges. This entire incident has prompted questions and concerns about passenger and worker safety at ILM Airport. The New Hanover County Sheriff's Office says Dvorak drove through the airport fence onto the tarmac before eventually driving through the front door of the terminal. It wasn't until then that he was taken into custody. Prosecutors Friday said a mother barely had time to get her 3-year-old out of the way as the car crashed through the entrance. We reached out to Airport Director Jeff Burke for an interview to ask questions about passenger and worker safety. He declined to answer those questions, instead issuing a statement saying, in part, quote, ILM has been and continues to be fully in compliance with TSA security requirements. The airport is open and fully operational. ILM will continue to support our partners during this active investigation. Some of the safety-related questions to Director Burke would have included, do you plan to upgrade the airport fence since a small car breached it and drove onto the tarmac? What specific steps are being considered to prevent an incident like this from happening again? And if ILM is in compliance with TSA security requirements, will you take additional measures to ensure passenger and worker safety? A TSA spokesperson says ILM is in compliance with those security requirements. Again, we offered Burke a chance to answer those safety-related questions. He declined. His full statement is inside this story on our website. Zach Solon, WECT News.